Evening, everyone. By show of hands, how many people use a calendar to manage your personal or professional life? All right. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. So how many of you, do your close friends and family have access to your availability on those calendars? Over 70% of United States adults are facing the exact same challenge, which means that it's really hard for us to find ways to spend time with each other. What it usually means is that we're using text messages or group emails, things like that, to try to coordinate when we're going to spend time together. It's very, very time consuming, and the more people involved, the harder it gets to plan something. I'm the co-founder of OVERLP. We've developed a social scheduling platform that enables you to solve that problem in 3 clicks. The first, you select the person or group that you're trying to spend time with. The second, you select what it is that you want to do, and it gives you the recommended days and times. The third is, once you select that time, it'll send an invitation to that person or group. Done deal. People can accept or reject that invitation. It automatically adds it to you all's calendars. Our company earns revenue in 3 different ways. The primary way is that we actually enable businesses and organizations to use this as a member and a customer engagement platform, so that for their earned audiences they already have on social, et cetera, they can actually not only invite those people back into their venues, but invite them in groups and invite their friends who aren't necessarily affiliated with that organization to join them in those endeavors. The second way is through transaction fees, through ticket purchases and admission prices. The third is that companies will actually be able to pay to invite users by paying per head for who they're bringing in. The cost per month for a business is $25 to $250 per location per month, depending on the volume of traffic, as well as $1 to $2 per invitation per person that they're inviting into the venue. I would love today for anyone to provide any introductions to any large member organizations or companies that are looking to boost and drive their traffic and engagement. Thank you very much for your time, and I'm looking forward to answering your questions.
All right, so let's imagine for a minute that I own a venue. I don't, so don't be hitting me up later. So you would come to me and you would say, Greg, you should use OVERLP for, finish that sentence or paragraph.
You should use OVERLP to drive your customer engagement system. So most companies, what they do is when they want to drive traffic, they turn to a few things. They turn to different promotional activities or events, or they turn to something like Groupon, where, for example, let's say they're having a slow night on Tuesday. They turn to Groupon, they offer discounts. One, it reduces the amount they're making per person that actually comes into the building. And two, they're still dealing with the same exact lack of traffic. So they actually end up losing money when they're trying to make more money. What we do is we solve that problem by taking their earned audience. We can help you engage them more often. So the regular that comes in once a month, we can get them to come in maybe twice a month, and not only come by themselves, but actually bring people with them based on their availability.
And to make that happen, you need me to help push OVERLP to my customers.
Exactly. And so what we do is we ask you to start by promoting this to your customers, but at the same time, we equip you with the tools necessary to do so. For our MVP in front of our soft launch, we're starting off with member-driven organizations versus customer-driven organizations. So think more so nonprofits, networking groups, things like that, places where they have engaged audiences of volunteers or members who are actively trying to participate. Think of places like co-working spaces that have a vested interest in networking. We're starting off with some of those organizations. The next one is the high-value, low-volume organizations. So places that are like spas or racing experiences or things like that, or like a wine class, things where they're earning a lot of money per person that actually shows up, and they need to fill time slots. And then the secondary business is for people who are low value, high volumes. Those like bars, breweries, where they really leverage that engagement platform to get people in.
And I happen to be aware that you were pursuing a different business model and pivoted into this one. Could you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
How you got to this idea?
Yes, so OVERLP, a year ago, we started as a dating app called Instimate. And so pretty much what it was a dating app that had unprecedented security features, such as a text message buddy system to let people notify their friends or family where they're going, with who, and when. We also allowed it to automatically plan the first date based on availability and what you like to do. So as soon as you engage with someone and you were sure that you wanted to go somewhere, you had the safety and security of going to that place, and also found that place in time for you. We did a soft launch last May with about 500 users in the Charlotte area. What we did was we went back to actually learn from those users to figure out what they appreciate about their experience. And the main thing that everyone asked was, what did you use for the automatic scheduling tool to automatically find a time? Because I want to find time with my friends or family and things like that. And that's when we knew we were onto something. So we took that tiny piece of it, we killed everything else, and built around that.
What is your profit model for this business? I mean,
Yes.
what are your costs and what are your revenues and your profits that
Yes.
you anticipate year one?
So year one, our goal is to get 60 organizations in the Charlotte metro area on the platform in year one. Based on that $25 to $250 per location per month for the engagement platform, we're anticipating a little north of $100,000 in annual recurring revenue signed within that first year. But there's also two other revenue platforms. So one of those is that business can actually pay per person to invite people in for things. So if I'm having an exclusive event, let's say I'm having a wine class, and my Tuesday class is half capacity, I can actually pay money to invite a free group of people, like people who are available, in for that class. And I can actually pay to drive that traffic. A third way is that through transaction fees. We're actually going to allow people to purchase tickets and admission to everything from sports games to movies, things like that, to the platform. So if I say, okay, I want to go to the movies with my CSL cohort here, it'll find a time that we're available. It'll find a movie for us based on our preferences, and then allow us to actually purchase our tickets. And so that's those transaction fees is the third way. But the primary way is that SaaS model for that member engagement and customer engagement platform for organizations.
So do you have some current capital need that's not being met? I'm trying to understand if there's some capital infusion you need, and what would you use it for?
Yeah, so as of right now, I've been self-funding to this point. And so what I did was the actual consumer-facing platform, that's actually almost done being developed. We already had the prototype and tested it. That actually launches in April. The second wave that we're doing is I'm self-funding that as well, and that's the customer and member engagement side. I think that what we're going to have to do is raise funds for two different things. One is going to be, initially we're marketing to organizations to drive their users, but eventually we're going to have to do some direct-to-consumer marketing, so that's going to be costly as well. Another thing is the third version of the platform that allows the transaction fees and purchases in app, as well as that kind of advertising platform where you can actually pay to invite people in. That's going to have to be built on top of this existing platform. So that is going to involve an influx of cash. For the rest of the platform development, it'll range from about $15,000 to $20,000 if I don't self-fund it myself. And then for the marketing to get to where we want to be this time in 2020, that'll be somewhere around $50,000 to $75,000.
Thank you.